There is so much stuff on social media that you should not do to your skin, and these are the 3 worst things that I saw on social media this week. I'm Dr. Dustin, board-certified dermatologist, and I've helped millions of people improve their skin and make more educated decisions on their skincare purchases, and I want to help you have the most effective dermatology visits by asking the right questions and make more educated decisions when you're purchasing skincare over the counter. Everybody wants to get the best results as fast as they can with their skin, and sometimes that leads to the temptation to do things you shouldn't be doing at home. And that's what we're going to talk about today, is the worst skincare advice that I saw on social media this week, starting with home chemical peels. Home chemical peels, really, you shouldn't be doing that at home. Now, there are some things that are like exfoliating pads that you can purchase over the counter. There are some that I like, and my own skincare line actually has some in them, but these are really formulated for at-home use. They're not truly a chemical peel. They may have alpha hydroxy acids in them or beta hydroxy acids, but they're at concentrations that are approved by the FDA for consumer use. So you don't want to be going to super high concentrations of glycolic acid, of salicylic acid. I've seen people burn their skin. I've been taking care of them in my clinic because they did something at home that was really meant for a professional setting with an esthetician or a dermatologist or plastic surgeon. There have been some individuals on social media that are doing at-home chemical peels, trichloroacetic acid, really high concentrations of glycolic acid. We're talking TCA, 35, 50, 80%, and these are super dangerous. They significantly increase your risk of hyper and hypopigmentation. They can put you at risk for reactivation of herpes simplex or cold sores. You can get other types of infection in the skin, and in severe cases, you can actually get scarring. They can actually penetrate deep enough to give true scarring on the skin. In this example, we see somebody microneedling their face and then putting on a chemical peel, and this absolutely should not be done. So the number one thing on social media this week, do not do at-home chemical peels. You can purchase these things from not necessarily reputable sources, and they really should just be left at the store and in the hands of professionals. Don't do it, it's not worth it. Number 2, this image was sent to me by a follower, a mutual friend on social media, and this is of a chiropractor who has a sunburn on their back. And they said, don't call this a sunburn. This is not a bad thing. This is light nutrition. Let me tell you a couple things. You are not a plant. You do not undergo photosynthesis. You cannot gather nutrition from the sun. Now, ultraviolet light can activate a vitamin D synthesis pathway, but that is not light nutrition. A burn on the skin is evidence of damage, and what we know is that sunburns directly increase your risk of melanoma, basal cell carcinoma, and squamous cell carcinoma. How do we know that? Well, we can look at the mutations that occur in these types of cancers, and we see what are called UV signature mutations, these dipyrimidine dimers. These types of mutations are induced by ultraviolet light. They're not induced by a lack of vitamin D. They're not induced by sunscreen, the chemicals that are in sunscreen. We can directly prove that these UV signature mutations are present in many types of skin cancer, and they come from ultraviolet light. You're otherwise not going to get nutrition from the sun. Most people who use sunscreen under normal circumstances, where you'll put it on in the morning, maybe you reapply once, maybe twice, you're generally not putting it on thick enough, you're not going to become vitamin D deficient. And studies have shown that individuals who use sunscreen under normal real-world circumstances have normal bone density. It doesn't compromise their bone density, which is a highly vitamin D dependent process. So the use of sunscreen is not going to make you vitamin D deficient, and they've shown that even surfers in Hawaii who don't wear sunscreen have been vitamin D deficient. So it's a complicated way to produce vitamin D. It's highly effective. We've evolved to do it, yes, but using sunscreen will protect your skin from the harmful effects of ultraviolet rays, but does not, in the average individual, lead to vitamin D deficiency. So again, sunburns are not light nutrition. Don't go get sunburned thinking you're going to be more nutritious. And number 3, this one blew me away even more than the home chemical peels, is home microneedling. Somebody sent this to me. This was available on Target, and I looked close to see if this was like a third-party seller, but it appeared to me to be actually sold by Target. This is a home microneedling device. This microneedling device looks very similar to the types of microneedling used in the majority of dermatology and esthetician offices. Microneedling, because of the depth that it penetrates, because it's coming in contact with blood, is a Class 2 medical device and requires approval and clearance by the FDA. It requires a certain type of medical license in order to purchase it. In the state of Idaho, your average esthetician can't purchase a Class 2 medical device unless they have a physician-level medical director. So this absolutely should not be used at home. It states that it can go from a depth of 0.25 millimeters up to 2 millimeters. You're definitely going to experience bleeding when you're going 2 millimeters deep. And the biggest risk when people are doing this at home is that they're going to reuse the needles. When you have microneedling done in a professional setting, they're going to use this one time on you and you only, and then it goes in the sharps container, never to be used again, never to risk getting bacteria, viruses, or bloodborne pathogens on there that you could reintroduce to yourself or to someone else, obviously. So microneedling should not be done at home. Now, you could do very, very light derma rolling. That's a conversation for another occasion, but microneedling like this device absolutely should not be done at home. Leave that in the hands of the professionals. Target really should be taking this down and should not make it available on their website. Don't purchase it. Don't encourage anybody else to purchase it. And if you notice somebody that's doing microneedling at home, please warn them of the dangers. You can get bad infections. You can spread herpes simplex cold sores all over your face. Home microneedling, probably the worst thing I saw on the internet this week. I'm Dr. Dustin, board certified dermatologist. If you see something crazy on the internet about skincare, skin health, send it to me through my DMs on Instagram or text it to me. You can text me. I'll leave that in the video description below as well. Make sure that you're following to keep up with this installment of crazy skincare things I saw on the internet this week. I look forward to seeing you back on the channel next time.